let me take just a minute to tell you how beautiful a human being is when they break open and all that has been held in starts to pour out into the heart and through the heart, through the throat chakra, through the throat portal, into the world. It's a beautiful thing that happens when it's held in a sort of loving, unconditional space. And I've seen this happen many, many times. It's happened with me, and since we do the work that we do, particularly live in-person events, then such things happen. And this video is not about selling you our live in-person events. I don't do that sort of thing. But I'm just speaking to what happens, when we allow ourselves to break open. Because in that environment, in a loving environment, in a kind of holding, open environment that has no judgment, has no threat, has no demand, has nothing in it. Something deep within relaxes. And that relaxation is almost a muscle. It's almost a muscle of self. It's, energetic muscle that we have that goes, something happens. Something breaks open. Something deeper starts to kind of reveal itself, emerge. Tears may come, grief may arise, sorrow mixed with joy, revelation, insight, epiphany, awareness, gratitude, humility, kindness, tenderness. All aspects of love, start to kind of rise up and have their moment, and it's cathartic. And yes, it's healing. And it's healing not by design, but it's healing by its very nature. Nothing much needs to be done. And that's why we're all so hooked up on doing. What can I do to open? What can I do to awaken? What can I do to surrender? What can I do? But these people who've come to our events, for instance, the only thing really that they've done is get themselves there, find the money somehow, which is not easy, of course, and then have the willingness to just be open. Something about the fragrance of love. I tell you, I've said this before and I say it again. True love, the field of love, is irresistible for many and most human beings. The field of love itself is irresistible, and it draws that which is love in each being to itself. Yes? Not for itself, but to itself. Because love is a field. The fire of love is a field of energy that draws the smouldering flames inside others to itself, for no reason other than love is magnetic like that, and it has a certain kind of draw. And so, that kind of speaks to something within us, because most people that I've certainly worked with and I'm working with, and in my own recollection, in my own journey, that's exactly what happened to me. In many places, in many environments, something broke open. In the years that I was with the Shivam O'Brien in the shamanic camp, we had so many different experiences, the sublime to the ridiculous, the transcendent to the wild, and just crazy. And but there was a breaking open so often in that, because the environment lent itself to authenticity, and what we yearn for, most of us, is authenticity. And when we allow authenticity to arise, everything that has been suppressed and everything that stands in the way of that authenticity within, when it comes to the surface for dissolvement, for love, authenticity. That's a great word, right? Could do with more of it in this world, and we don't see much of it in many ways. Of course we do, but in this context, the context that we're talking about, I mean the authenticity of the soul, the authenticity of the heart, the authenticity of within, so that there's as if a natural congruence between body, emotion, mind, spirit, expression, heart. Yeah, everything that's been held within. We so often in these societies, in our conditioning, in our families, in the way we're brought up, we've been trained as if to not express ourselves, not be true to ourselves, to somehow become almost inauthentic. Because, when we were all young, we had to be trained to behave ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we have to be trained in some sort of way. Could be a little bit better than it was by unconscious parents, really, but there's a certain discipline that's needed. But often in family and dysfunctional families, that discipline is enforced at the cost of our authentic being. And once it's kind of driven away in many ways, then it becomes part of the shadow bag, becomes part of the shadowy part of self. And we do live in many ways an inauthentic world. Most of the matrix out there is built on a certain, hold on, I'm going down a hill. Ooh. A certain inauthentic kind of expression. Maybe that's just what's needed, of course. We don't have to all go around hugging and loving each other all the time, or sharing the deepermost with everybody in the supermarket or down at the store or anything. But that's not really what's being spoken of here. I'm talking about when we're suppressing our truth, the depth of our feelings, the heartbreak, the sensitivity, the grief, the anger, all of that kind of pushed down starts to create a schism in us, and a separation between what we present to the world and what we really are. Most of that needs to break open somehow, but it generally needs a safe environment to do it. So when that safe environment is fostered, found, or we have to do it really in a way by ourselves, I don't know, I'm talking about a field of love that allows us to relax, and in that relaxing, something opens. It's like the flower within. This flower is in the chest area, coiled up, like a child in a way. Innocent flower sits in our chest, and then by and by the sun comes along and it rains, and the flower goes, oh, it may have waited many years, but there it is. I'm going down another hill. Not really hills, but... And there it is. The flower goes, ah. And it opens and releases its fragrance. And for us, that fragrance may mean, as I said, tears of joy, grief, anger, sorrow, all of the above, usually. But, there is such beauty in that. There is such beauty in that. It's such a relief, and it's such a blessing and such a joy to see it in others. And, in many ways, without being grandiose or anything, in my own kind of ragged way, I wish, I hope, I pray, that some of this that I share on this YouTube channel carries a little bit of that fragrance. No reason other than love. Just for this. I'm not doing anything here. I'm just sharing what I can of my humanity, of my insight, of my experience over the years on the spiritual journey that arose out of my own particular nuanced form of suffering. And there has been quite a lot of learning on the way, on the path, and there has been quite a lot of opening to authenticity. I was graced with many experiences in my life, and I still am. And all of those experiences served ultimately to humble me and to keep me humble. And in that humbling, something more true started to come out. And it's sort of a joy, really, in many ways, to share that. I don't know why, for no reason other than love itself. Bless you. See you.